Welcome back, you guys. How you all doing today? I'm EFC, this is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm here to bring you guys a massive, huge news daily video. Now, I've got three big stories to speak about, and of course, I'm going to start with Kai Havertz. It's come out that the player has agreed personal terms. You guys heard me right, Havertz has agreed personal terms, and at this point in time, he is destined to become our player for next season. So here are those reports, you guys, and for the other two stories, they are two big stories too in their own right. We move on to Declan Rice and the club's plan to sign him, and we're going to speak about a goalkeeper to actors competition alongside Kepa. Now, I'm going to do things a bit differently for today's news daily video. I'm going to give you guys a quick introduction first, just to give you my thoughts on how I'm feeling with this current window, because I'll keep things very real. There was a time a few seasons back under Conte where I was getting quite disillusioned by the club's direction. I was never a fan of Conte's football. I understand that it wins you titles, it does win, but in terms of its long-term success and in terms of its aesthetic pleasingness, it wasn't there. I felt the football was way too pragmatic and it was too boring to watch, and if I'm feeling this, how exactly are the players feeling? I knew from all those days back, if we did not update how we played, if we did not update how our club's viewed as well, we would never see or sign great attacking players because they want to play a style of football that gets the very best out of them. For a long time, I just knew that if we turn to the academy, if we stopped becoming inefficient, use our academy players to fill positions up and then sign the very best for positions that we can't get from our academy players, we would be on to great things and we could have probably the most successful decade in this club's history. And you know, at this point in time, you guys, we've just signed Werner, we've signed Ziyech, we're about to sign Kai Havertz. All the things that I thought I'd never see, I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing the academy players getting their chance to shine. They're being used upon. They've been so great for us this season, and we're playing beautiful football run by a manager that knows this club inside and out and was an absolute legend here. Yeah, it does feel absolutely surreal, but it feels like everything that I've been speaking about and many of us have also discussed and thought about as well, we were always right. This was the right direction, and we are starting to see the fruits bear from this, you guys. Do you understand that this summer window could be our greatest ever transfer window? You know, there's been two occasions where we've signed unreal players. You know, the first times this happened was when Roman first bought the club, and that was when Mourinho came. He signed your Cavallios, your Ferreiras, your Drogbas, and we became one of the best teams in the world. The second time we did that was straight after our UCL success, and we signed Eden Hazard, Oscar, so many great young attacking players, but unfortunately, we didn't have the management at the time to get the very best out of them. But right now at this point in time, we have an opportunity to sign all our first choice targets. We are doing that. We have the right environment, the right manager, the right style of football. We have everything, and honestly, this next 10 years is going to be, I feel strongly, and I'm saying this now as I've always been predicting since I started this YouTube channel, I feel like this decade is going to be one of our greatest decades in our history. It's unreal, you guys, but before I start getting too sentimental and emotional, let's move on to the first story, because we need to speak about Kai Havertz and the latest news surrounding this deal. Now, today has been a massive day for Havertz news. I told you guys in my previous video on him, expect the news to come out thick and fast, because right now the club are in deep negotiations. They are keeping things secretive and they're only selectively releasing and leaking information to the press. So that's why I said pay attention to the big boys in journalism, because they're going to get the scoop very soon, because we are doing everything we can to sign Kai. Today was the day that the press were able to speak about some of the details behind this deal, and you guys, things are looking very exciting, because we start with the first big report, and that's that Havertz has already agreed personal terms. Now, in that sense, this was going to be the easiest thing to do. I mean, come on, if we're going to spend big to sign Kai, we're persuading him. Of course, we can afford to pay whatever contract or wages he wants, so that was bound to happen. But we get some more insight behind Havertz's thinking behind signing for us. It seems like he's seen the influence of your Werners, and he's been impressed by how Lampard's been able to sign them. Lampard and Havertz have spoken. We know that Super Frank is sweet with his words, and they seem to have worked on Havertz because he was very receptive to what Lampard had to say, and that's one of the main reasons behind Havertz deciding to sign for us and not waiting it out at Leverkusen. Right now, we are trying to sign Kai for £70 million, which is around 80 million euros. We don't know at this point in time whether Leverkusen are going to accept. They're still holding up from between 80 million to 85 million pounds, but because we are the only club in the running to sign Kai, because we are destined to get a UCL spot, because the other clubs aren't trying to sign him either, as I've been stressing, we are going to have that advantage to hopefully bring this deal down and suit our needs better. Now, when it comes to how we're going to structure this deal, it seems like we want to try and find the best deal for ourselves. So there's talks that we could pay up to 65 million first and pay the rest off in clauses, which is always going to be the way to get this deal done. I mean, let's keep things absolutely real. At this point in time, Havertz is just waiting for us so we can get this deal done and he can sign for us, because the terms he agreed was 9 million per season, which is standard for a player his age, and it wouldn't surprise me that as he plays for us over the years, he's only going to get a bigger and better contract. So I think 9 million right now, absolutely sick for Kai. I think this 70 million first offer is a decent one to make, and potentially this is going to persuade Leverkusen to drop their valuation a bit or allow us to pay for the full fee they want using a better term over time. So let's hope that happens. We know that Petr Cech will be flying down very soon once the season is over to hold actual face-to-face talks with Leverkusen, and I think that approach is the best way to conclude. And I personally think that's the best approach to conclude business, and I think that's why we've become so well respected in this window. It seems like things are going to wrap up very soon, and what's particularly positive about the story today is how willing Kai is to sign for us, how public that information is right now, and it just tells you everything you need to know about the direction this club's going in, why we need to have the faith, why we need to remain patient to allow this incredibly young, gifted team to grow. Because once these guys reach their full peak and prime, we are going to witness some absolutely unreal football at Stamford Bridge. So you guys, it's really happening. We are going to be signing Kai Havertz, and the Premier League has to watch out, because next season, we're coming for the title. We now move on to the second story, and I'm now going to focus on Declan Rice, because there's some interesting news coming out behind this deal. I've been told a few things, and these developments are quite positive and quite exciting. At this point in time, the club are proposing an offer to West Ham that involves the transfer of 2 players plus a little bit of money to bring that final fee down for Declan Rice, because at this point in time, reports suggest that West Ham wants 70 million to let Rice go, and the 2 players we've proposed in actually offering as a part exchange are Michy Batshuayi and Ross Barkley. Now with Michy, it's particularly interesting because he was actually willing to leave in January. The reason why his move to West Ham did not materialise was because back then during those times, Giroud's future was a bit uncertain. He never knew if he was going to stay at Stamford Bridge or maybe move into Milan or go back to France. So that's why the club couldn't afford to let Michy leave in those circumstances. And in the case of Barkley at this point in time, I can't really tell you what his opinion is. I don't even know if Barkley knows himself right now. These are just, informal talks in that sense to get a feel of things when it comes to negotiating with West Ham. But what is really interesting now, from what I'm hearing, it seems like West Ham may have some financial difficulties at this point in time. Now, we know how COVID has literally damaged the finances of so many clubs right now. It's no surprise that's going to affect West Ham, and in particular after they invested so heavily for this season. So many of their players are on big contracts as well. They're definitely feeling it in their pockets. So the good news is this could potentially give us more power to get our terms to sign Rice. So at this point in time, this could give us the power to influence the terms we want to persuade West Ham to sell, because consider this deal, West Ham. If you're getting Michy Batshuayi, a proven Premier League goal scorer, and Ross Barkley, who's showing now that yes, he still has that ability, he's playing some of his best football since he signed for us, and he's still young, has a decent valuation, and if anything happened, you're guaranteed to cash in on the players. So in that sense, we could get the terms we want. And I feel like West Ham will have to play ball because they need the money. They know they have to finance the sale of one of their big players to help balance the books at the club right now. And this is where Rice could be that player to sign. Now, I can't imagine they're expected to get 70 million once this news has officially come out, because no club in this world is going to give in to their demands if they know that West Ham are feeling it in their pockets. So let's see what happens on this front, you guys. Now, I'm going to give you my quick thoughts and opinions of Rice. I'm completely down for him. I think he's a great player. I've been saying constantly on this channel, let's stop judging these teams as if they've completed their game and they're not going to get any better. I've watched football for years. I've seen how players start off looking okay to become absolutely phenomenal players as they get older and get used to their environment and get that experience. With Rice, I feel like his signing is important for us because it comes down to N'Golo Kante. We're playing now a 4-3-3 where we need a DM that can cover the grounds, that is great defensively, that can read that danger too, and obviously has that ability on the ball. Whenever Kante is injured, we can't rely upon that. And I think for next season, to keep that momentum going, because I can imagine us keep using this 4-3-3, we need to have someone that can do what Kante does if anything happens. Rice will get the opportunity to play as a centre-back and play as a DM as well, and I think this will give us the best balance going forward. This will give us the momentum, which is going to be important if we are going to mount this title challenge for next season. I've said time and time again, Rice is desperate to sign for us. It seems like a deal can be done, and I'm not going to be surprised that Declan Rice is going to be another player we sign during this window. So this window is getting even better, you guys. And to end things with the final story today, this comes from the Telegraph from Matt Law in particular, and this is focused on potential goalkeepers to act as competition for Kepa for next season. Now, you know, this story follows on many things I've said time and time again, so I'm not trying to like toot my own horn. I'm not one of those guys that has an ego, but you know, it's reassuring for myself that the way I think about football and how the club should be, you know, it wasn't just some fantasy fanboy nonsense. There was some reality behind the thought. So yeah, I don't even know why I told you guys that. But to continue on with the story, the club understand that it's going to be very difficult to get rid of Kepa. You know, we offered him a ridiculous contract. He's earning close to 200,000 a week. He cost the world record fee for goalkeepers as well. And statistically, he's been the worst goalkeeper in the Premier League. You know, you can be the greatest sell person in the world. Marina is one of the best negotiators in the game right now, but there's only so much she can do. I mean, she's only human. She can't get a club to spend big to sign Kepa from us. And the club were hoping that they could offer Kepa plus money in hopes of signing a better goalkeeper. In steps Oblak, as he still remains the dream at this club. However, the club understand that with his release clause set at 120 million, this guy is going to be impossible to sign if Atletico Madrid don't accept signing Kepa as well, which is not very likely whatsoever, because Oblak has saved Atleti time and time again. And in that sense, you know, I can't really see too much happening on the Kepa front. I've always thought it's going to come down to two possible solutions. Number one was if we potentially sign Unai Simons from Athletic Bilbao. And the reason why I say this is that Kepa has those Basque roots inside him. Athletic Bilbao only signed Basque players, and potentially because we still owe them money, maybe there could have been a negotiation basis to work with. You know, Kepa returning back to his former club, playing first team football, and us signing Unai Simons, who is a much better goalkeeper than Kepa. But, you know, that's not very realistic. The chances of that happening are so remote. So my second solution was that the club understand we have to take the L and sign an affordable goalkeeper to act as competition. So hopefully that could maybe boost Kepa's market value at least. Maybe the competition is going to help him even more because he hasn't really faced too much competition since he signed for us. In the market right now, there are great, affordable goalkeepers, with the number one target being Onana from Ajax at this point in time. He's held talks with the club, he's held talks with Lampard, he is desperate to sign for us too, and he's available for a good price around the 30 million mark. If we sign him and Tagliafico, I wouldn't be surprised if we even sign both for less, as long as we paid more money up front. So there's definitely ways to negotiate with Ajax to get this deal done. So it seems like this window, we are going to address every key area. As I've been saying for a long time, we are spending the equivalents of 2 summer windows. We are serious about going for the title for next season, and the club aren't going to be angry with Lampard if he doesn't achieve that. But it's about being ambitious right now, trying to be the very best we can be. You know, we're close to signing Havertz. We can sign your Rices. We can sign your Tagliaficos. We can sign your Onanas. We've got Werner and Ziyech here too. Honestly, this has the potential to be our greatest ever window and definitely one of the best windows in the past 10 years. So you guys, things are looking absolutely unreal at this club right now. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. I'm EFC, the Sisbury Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.